Open countryside out there.
All right.
Well, we're now in Bartholomew Street East, and that is a section of Exeter's Roman wall. Bit shaky, I apologise for the shakes. And the restaurant now was an old malt house years long ago.
It's 31st of March 2001.
Well, this is in the middle of a shopping centre. I'm not quite sure, but I think it's the Church of St Mary's. The shopping centre all the way round. Just stuck right in the middle. Some of the old buildings around in Exeter. And standing in North Street. Well, as you can see, this passageway is called the Mint, and it takes us to St Nicholas's Priory of the original Benedictine Priory, founded by William Rufus in about 1080. Not much remains of the buildings, but the ground floor are the kitchens with a 13th century fireplace. The guest hall was added in the 14th century. It is open to the public, but not on a Saturday.
One side of the door, I should imagine.
Well, this is Tucker's Hall. This building is a reminder of Exeter's days as a wool centre. It is a hall of the Guild of Weavers. It was founded in 1489 and it is still going strong today. This is looking up the street. There's the Tucker's Hall. Nearly 500 years, over 500 years. Now this is a mystery to us. It looks like an old river bridge, but we don't really know. So if anybody knows, please contact us. Looks very much like bridge arches, but we're not sure about this. There is Stepcote Hill, which you will see the steps in a second or two. To the left is the sandstone church of St Mary's Steps. There's quarter jacks that strike the hour. There you go. One of them lost his head by the look of it. Beside the church is a flight of steps, 100 well-worn steps that give the church its name of Stepcote Hill. And this is the house here. And this is the house that moved. 3-storey timbered frame house was moved on rollers to its present site in 1961. And there's the steps. 100 steps up there. Looks a lot steeper than that actually. Stepcote Hill. That's the house that moved. Where it moved from we do not know, but it couldn't have been all that far if it moved on rollers. This is the West Gate. Successfully defended against the rebel attacks in 1549. This is the site of the West Gate, successfully defended against the rebel attacks in 1549. William Prince of Orange with his army entered the city in 1688 through this gate, which was removed in 1815. More of the old city wall and gate there. Wee willy winkies. Winkies. We're now moving down to the quayside. Just a short walk down this street. A bit more of the old city wall. That's the old customs house there. Through the old dock buildings here. Forever faithful, that motto says. That's the arms of Queen Elizabeth I, awarded to Exeter in the help of the defeating the Spanish Armada. Lots of swans and ducks about. very windy. Quite like this shot. Those swans coming into land.
Bridge.
Malison Bridge. You can read that. A wooden bridge. Look down at the river. Lovely creatures, aren't they? Some of last year's birds there, still got their brown feathers. Well, I'll tell you what this bridge is called when we get to the other side. This is all flats along this side of the river. Very costly, I bet, to live around here. Crickle Pit Bridge, 1980 it was put here by the look of it. Now that Exeter Maritime Museum, well, we should have liked to have gone in there, but unfortunately it closed down last year through lack of support. So there you go. Well, that was a turntable for turning the wagons. Well, as you can see, we're standing just by St. Peter's Cathedral, one of the most beautiful cathedrals in England. This is a living place of worship, and you are welcome to our services, it says in the brochure. While the Romans were still here, Christians began to worship only a few yards away. Later there was a monastery here where St. Boniface came as a boy to school. The cathedral was built on its present site nearly 1,000 years ago. It says there has hardly been a day for well over 1,000 years where there has not been a prayer said and a sung here. Richard Hooker, I don't know who he was, but he only lived 47 years by the look of it. So the towers are of Norman origin, so that's about 10 something. The rest of it is Gothic, and it's added to over the years. This is sculptures of kings, apostles and knights and angels on the front face. Some of them are showing their age by their condition.
Nice run.
Well, that gentleman you will see later, standing there to the right.
That's looking in a mirror on the floor.
The organ in the centre there.
See, it wasn't very bright in there. I say I was using my old M10 VHS.
Very quiet in here. Some lovely carvings. Well, that's the 15th century clock. In the centre is the earth, around which revolves the sun and the moon, which turns on its axis to reveal its phases. Exeter Cathedral was begun in 1112 by Bishop Warwaste, the nephew of William the Conqueror. As I said, the two towers were Norman, so this is built after the first one was knocked down, which left the two towers standing, and they proceeded from there. It's lovely windows there. That was all in Latin. Lots of little chapels along the sides. It was bombed during the Second World War, but luckily it didn't get too damaged.
There's so much to see, couldn't video it all. I say the light wasn't all that brilliant.
Just warming up for choir practice, so don't worry. I think that's called the King's Chair.
A massive grade organ.
Some lovely floor tiles. Now those centres are called bosses. A lot bigger than you think.
50 of them, the earliest complete set in the country, in fact. All but 2 are 13th century, 1240, 1260, and this is one of those. There are 2 which are not. One is 14th and the other is 15th century. And they were part of the first cathedral, the Norman Cathedral, which was the first cathedral on this site. So when they demolished that cathedral, they obviously decided that they would keep these, and they have survived ever since.
Was it damaged during the war, this?
Yes, the chapel across there, St James, was completely
Oh, I just
destroyed.
I didn't see that, that's
Yes,
right.
and obviously a lot of blast damage. Could have been a lot worse.
Should have been, yeah. Yeah, all right, thank you very much.
Okay.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
They were the miserly
The gentleman was
seats,
telling me
I
about
think
the
it's called.
seats along there. There was 50 originally seats, but 2 of them were from the first cathedral on the site. Little wave there. Here we go. Well, that was Mole's Coffee House in Queen Victoria's times, a meeting place for Sir Francis Drake and his fellow sea dogs. Published
Established 1169. have you
Royal
noticed
Clarence
that?
Hotel. Another look at Mole's Coffee House. There's a sundial, sundial and observatory across the top. Well, this is Cathedral Close, and this bridge spans 2 Roman walls.